Guys, this is Todd with Duct Tape Hanger. We're going to start working on this Howard DGA-12. We're going to actually follow the instructions, which is not something I really tend to do a lot, but we'll start following them. We might skip some parts and come back and do others and that kind of thing. It starts out with doing all the wing hinging, flaps and ailerons. They're CA hinges. I'm going to go ahead and use them. We're going to start with one wing panel and go from there. And I'll get you guys in here where you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to roll you up here. And it should be a decent view. I think I can get you. Let me back it up here a little bit. Get you guys in here and you can see the process. That'll be good enough. I'll try to keep it in the center of the frame. I kind of rearranged my setup this way, a little better lighting up above, a little different situation, a little different background. Some of my planes back here in the background. On the left is my cap, cardan cap, 35%. I have an Oscar in the corner, Hanger 9 Oscar, that needs a finish. That'll be on another episode. I did a trade deal and got that one. My GBY, that's a Pacific Aero Modelers, ARF. I went down to Kentucky, about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours away. I bought the airframe and all the servos in it for $75. And so I went down and picked that up. The next one is a Top Flight P-47 giant scale. It's all glassed and painted fuselage. It does have an ARF wing. Flies really nice. G62. That's a Pirate Extra 300 from the mid-90s. A friend of mine had it, and he ended up giving it to me. So I put a Zenoa GT80 on it and a few servos and been flying it. And then my Byron GBR2 here in the corner. And over here, I got my Bud Nosen P51 that we'll be working on as well. And another partial completed Byron GB. So just kind of a little change of backdrop here and trying to make it where it's not looking quite so cluttered. So we'll work on this, get started on wing insulation or surface insulation. It's not really very tedious. The guy I got this from 5-6 years ago when I originally bought it, he just had it hanging up. So he did all static display. So he did glue a few of these in, but he didn't glue both sides. He just did it enough to slide the surfaces on. We're going to go in and put in the rest of these hinges. It looks like there is 3 for the flaps, maybe 4. Yeah, I think 4 for the flaps, and 1, 2, 3 for the ailerons. I've got a bag of hinges here, and we'll start making them work. You can I'll do it this way where you can kind of see what I'm doing when I get these in here. You want to kind of square them up. Take your hinge. You're going to kind of square them up where they're towards the center. Some people will put a T-pin through them. That way they know where center is. I always just kind of guess. Some of these might have glue or a hinge that broke, like I think this one did. We're going to have to take an X-Acto knife and clean that out. This one has never had a hinge in it the way it looks. Yep, and we just go about halfway. I try to put all the hinges on either the wing or the surface, and then I can work it in. This is our aileron. There is a little bit of blue missing on the edge. I do have, and that one's got a little crack in it. We'll have to fix that. That one there, I didn't notice that. We'll get in there and we'll glue that back down and get the hinge in there. I do have some extra blue trim right here. It did come with extra blue trim, so I'm probably going to seal most of these hinge gaps anyway. So it's not something anybody's going to see anyway. So I'll take my number 11 X-Acto knife here. I'm going to clean this one up and get that out of there. Ooh. That one is glued in there pretty well. We're going to just put a line right underneath it. Just kind of work it right there. And I should be able to get another one of these in. This has all kinds of hinge material in it. I don't know where this stuff came from, but I should be able to. Nope, still needs a little work. Still a little tight. And like I say, all I'm doing is getting right in here behind this. I'm trying to get it decently gapped. I've got clear Monaco as well that I like to seal hinge gaps with. And just for a little net safety. Come on now. There she goes. Right like that. So I've got those 3 hinged up. This one, oh, that's flat. Aileron here. I need to make a little bit of a line on this side. There we go. On that one. And we'll check the end one here and make sure it's okay. Since that side was glued, this side might be too. Nope, she's good and open. All right, what I like to do here, get these started. I'm going to tip this back this way so I can see where I'm at. Get those started. Move this around here a little bit. Not quite sure if you guys can see right now or not. I'm actually going to take this center one and start in there in half and see if that helps me get that lined up. Because I can see this line all right on here. I couldn't see it in the wing. So this one right in like that. That one is started. And then I gotta get this one started. And I just kind of work it. I'm gonna take this, stand this up. It would be a little easier for me to get it in there. I might have to do the same with that one. Pull that one out of there. This has got a weird bevel to it, so it's kind of hard to get that started and straight. So if I get that about halfway in, and boy, there's they tight. They should seal up pretty nicely. Get in there about like that. Get them straightened out here a little bit. I think I've got some sky blue that'll match this other than that too. I've got a lot of covering. One thing I've picked up over the years, if I see a good deal that swaps with a big group of covering, I do buy it. It's hard to pass it up. Even if they're partial rolls, I never know where I'm going to use them, but I know I'm going to use them somewhere. I know I'm going to get some use out of them. This one is giving me fits here. So, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to grab a tool, grab a forceps here. I don't see mine on the table. It might be up here somewhere. I've got more of them. Oh, yep, there it is. Never mind. So, yeah, it's pretty wild. I originally bought this airframe 5-6 years ago. Traded it, or didn't trade it, sold it. Sold the other airframe I got with it, and ended up making such a good deal on that. This airframe was pretty much free. Then I ended up selling it, and then I traded another plane for it, another Well, those things are bent bad. Those ain't even touch them. All right, I'm gonna use those. I bent those up somewhere. I'm gonna grab another set. And so basically this is kind of a free airframe at this point. I did have a little bit of money invested in the other P40 that I traded, but I also got a good flying P40. Well, I'm hoping to have a good flying P40, I should say. I've got one ready to fly, so we'll see what happens there. That's hopefully going to happen in a couple days. Weather looks like it might work out for us. And this one keeps bending. It does not want to go. All right. I got to clean that out a little more. There is a reason that it's not sliding. And it is right in here. And that does not want to slide in there. That's the one that's giving me fits. The other two are doing all right. Okay, let's get that one lined up. I'm going to curve it a little bit. Get the angle right here to get her started. So I can kind of work that one in. Come on now. That one's kind of being a pain. Well, come on. Moses sandals on this here. It's catching on this side. I see. It's over here. It's catching on that side. See if that cleaned it up any. There it goes. That takes a little more force. So let's try it the other way again. This is probably already a boring video for some of you guys that's done this multiple times. I'm not going to show you every surface, obviously, because that would be a boring video by the time it's done. Just kind of give you the idea. And okay, now we're making some progress. There we go. Now we're cooking. So I got a nice tight hinge gap. No. Slide that over a little bit so that's not rubbing. I do need to take an iron and fix some of this covering. But there's a nice hinge gap. All three of those are hinged. It's beveled here on the bottom, so you're only going to get so much throw. Probably have a little differential anyway. Straight wing, old style type airplane. It's probably going to need a little bit of differential. But there is that one. Once I get these in, then I will CA them in. All right, looks like I got one more here. I'm gonna try put that one in here. That will work. Right like that. And I think I can get them in there. Oh, hold on. All right. Had to let the guard cat through the door there. He gets all excited if he feels like he's locked out of a room. He feels like he is in trouble. And yeah, if you hear him already. But he's usually pretty quiet. He doesn't bother my plane, so him and I get along pretty good. Got that one started. This one. Ooh. See, I kind of start at one, do an angle as I go across here. And get these started. Okay, that one's going to give me fits too. So let's see here. See if I can do it this way. Okay, I got a good amount of surface in there. That was pretty tight in the wing. So slide that on this one, like that. Got that one lined right up. There we go. This one. Yes. Come on now. That one's in. And that one's in. Okay, we're flexing here somewhere. Which one's flexing? I think it's that middle one I got in there. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, I can see a flex. I'll put a little pressure on it. There we go. She slid right in there now. There we go. Put a little pressure on it. Sometimes you can, like this, if you got it bowing one way or another, you can push right on that hinge and keep it from bowing and slide it in there. There we are. Nice tight gaps. Nice tight gaps. That's going to be a flap and it'll run. So not too bad there. I'm going to go ahead and CA them. Usually I do a couple drops on each side. Turn these like this. That one's kind of stiff. We'll do that like that. There we go. I do love that stand. That has been something that's been super handy. And I'll put a drop on top of each one of these and wick it in. I'm going to move my radio just in case I drip any through there. You can take a little acetone, mineral spirits will fix or will get rid of any CA. Or if you do have a CA release or remover, you're good to go there too. So I'm just using some Bob Smith Industries thin CA, which is about what everybody else uses. Any kind of thin CA, Gorilla Glue, that kind of stuff. As long as it's a thin and wicking CA, you'll be fine. So put a little bit on there. Oh, must have a dried tip. All right, I gotta get a needle and pop that. I don't think I have any T-pins out here. Don't look like it. So I'm gonna go get one and I'll do that. Nope, 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 nope. In my cluster of mess here, I do have a T-pin. So take that. Oh yeah, she's solid here at the tip. There we go. Set that off the side and let it dry. Just in case it's got any on it. All right, now we're good to go, should be. Nope, we still got a plug here. What do I got going on here? Let's see. Hopefully that's deep enough to get this going. Nope. All right, I'm gonna have to grab a deeper T-pin and get in there and get that. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got it working. The cap was plugged. I had to get in there and clean it out. We got her working now. So we're gonna take a few drops. What I usually do is push the surface down, so that gives me room to get in here. And put a few drops on her. And it also needs to go down. Okay. Put a few drops in there and get that top of that hinge wet. And you'll watch it wick right into the wing, right into the wood. And I just work my way back and forth. Make sure everything's lined up pretty decently. Doesn't look bad. Now we're going to do the same here with the flap. Push that down. And get that Nice and wicked. On each one of those hinges. Okay. I kind of keep flexing them, make sure they're all right. Ooh. That did not hold at all on this side. Let's get that back in there. Oh, come on now. I wasn't expecting that. There we go. Gonna have to definitely seal these hinge gaps. I can see that. Get some more in here. What is going on with this lid? Couldn't then. Get a little more in there. There we go. Now we're cooking. I think I glued the lid shut on it, or the tip. Let's bring this back up here. This way we can get some down in the wing too. Yeah, there we got a good amount. Now we got some good amounts going in there. That's looking better. That's looking better. All right. We're going to go ahead and flip this over and do the back side. We're going to do it the exact same way. Fold that gap down. Gonna fold that down here. Put a good amount right, get that bottom of that nice and wet, and you'll see it wick right in. Same thing with the flap. There we go. Flex them around a little bit. Oh yeah, she's stuck now. She ain't moving. There we go. Looking pretty good. So that's how you hinge that. And you got some nice, decent hinges there. Good resistance. Like I say, I'm going to take some clear Monaco, or I got some of this blue. I'm going to fix this stuff up. The bottom, I'm going to seal these gaps. I'm going to fold these and seal these gaps with clear Monaco. I got a whole roll of that. Works really nice for sealing gaps. And that's one wing. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other wing. I'm not going to make you guys watch that. So otherwise it gets kind of boring. So we'll pause this for now and we'll work on the other one. All right, guys, I got that all buttoned up and hinged. It's looking pretty good. We're going to get a little stiff. We're looking pretty good on both of those. So now the next phase is to install the servos. I'm going with these. These are a kind of a generic digital, but we're going to go with them. This isn't going to be any kind of crazy aerobatic plane. Those will be the ailerons, and we're going to use high-tech standards on flaps. So, like I say, it's not going to be any crazy aerobatics. It's going to be a lot of slow sport, scale flying, and that'll be about it. So, the string is gone here. So, I have to use fishing line and a weight, and I can drop it in there and get it to come out the hole here. And that's how I will, actually I'll do it the other way. I'll drop it in here and then be able to pull it back through. So that's what we're going to do next. I usually use a wheel collar, and I'll grab one of them because I don't see the one I had up here. I probably put it away, or it's somewhere lost on my table of, oh, look at that. Right there it is. From the P40, it's still sitting here. So I'm going to tie some fishing line to that, and we'll thread her through there. I'll show you how I do it. So I use 15-pound fishing line, just generic monofilament Zebco. Nothing, you don't want anything too crazy or heavy, because then it could get, if it gets tangled up, you're gonna have a heck of a time getting it out. And I'll just usually put a couple basic knots. I don't do a whole fisherman's knot or anything. It's not like we're pulling that kind of tension with it. So just put a couple knots in it. And that'll be enough to hold it. Okay, let me go back over here behind it. I'll show you how to do it. So I'm going to take this up and stand it up. I'm going to grab my line. I'm going to drop her in there. And you can hear it kind of rattle around in the wood. And oh, there it went. I've seen it flash by. Where'd it go? Where is it? Oh, maybe it didn't. Where are you? Let's see here. Oh, you know what? Now that I notice. Oh no, we're good. We're good. What the heck? There it is. Well, come on. All right, this one's giving me fits. This usually goes pretty easy. Okay. I can see down into the wing. Oh, it went way past it. Okay. Went all the way to the bottom of the wing. That's why I couldn't see it. So, I'm just going to drop that down there. Thing is, let's see what we got going on here. I go down to my finger, I should be about there. Well, it usually works really well. What the heck? All right, this is getting frustrating. All right, I'm gonna work on this. We'll come back to that. That's kind of boring for you guys. Might have to feed it the other way around because this is not working very well. All right, after a few choice adjectives, I did get it through there. For some reason, I had a heck of a time finding it when it went through. So, I'll take that same lead and I will tie it. I always make sure I have enough wire to get out past the edge of the wing. So I found an old extension that would work. And I'll tie this to this. You only really have to do one loop. It isn't going anywhere. And if it does, you can pull it back through. And here we go. Tight on this side. Like this. It's a problem with buying some of these old planes and old ARFs that people pull the strings out. There it is. Oop, I'm going to have to adjust that a little bit for that digital servo. Carve out a little bit. But the bad part about it is people will take this stuff out of them. Or if they pull servos and stuff out of an old airframe, just take the time to tie some fishing line through there. That way the next guy doesn't have to fight it as much. It's not that hard to do. It's pretty basic. Got plenty of cord hanging out. I just got to do a little bit of carving and we can get that servo to sit in there. So I'm just going to shave this back with my X-Acto knife. Make sure you go both ways and make it even. And just trim some of that balsa sheeting back a little bit. And there it is. All right, there's one of them. Then when I get ready to screw this in, I'll take a 16th drill bit and I drill through each one of those holes. And we'll be ready to lock that down. I'm going to do the same thing here for the flap. It should be a lot easier. Doesn't have to go near as far. I didn't need an extension on the high-tech servos to get it through there, to get the flaps out, so we're good. So we're going to try this again, and hopefully I can do this in the first shot here, so I don't have to pause it again. But I'm going to drop that right in there. And I'd say it isn't going far. There it is. That's how it usually goes, just like that. And then I'll take my high-tech standard that I'm going to use on flaps. Oh, I got to reach around here. High-tech standard. And we're going to have plenty of wire that's going to come through. Always do that before you pull it through too. Save yourself the trouble. Make sure everything's measured out to where you can at least get it outside the surface that you're working on. It saves you a lot of trouble in the long run. Lots. And there we are. Oh, I'm going to have to do the same thing for this servo. Even though this is just a standard. And all you got to do is just shave a little bit. It doesn't take much. They always put a little extra sheeting on there. Depending on servos, it's easier to cut it away than it is to add it. And so we got to do just a little more. Shave that out of the way. And there it is. It drops right in. Same thing with this, 16th, screw it in, and that'll get you started. All right, I'm going to go ahead and probably just stop the video on this for now. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the other wing. Next video, we're going to start setting horns. I'm going to use a couple different types. I've got some extras, some old ones. I'm going to use a plastic type horn that takes 4 screws for the flaps. The surface here has one that goes all the way through. It's a screw type. I think I have it sitting here somewhere. Well, I have, oh yeah, here they are. Going to use these on the surfaces. And that'll screw through. And then you have your surface there. That'll get you your throws you need. flaps, I'm just going to put dig through my box of extra parts and put a set of regular plastic hinges on here. So that's it for on this one. We'll see you in the next episode. I really appreciate you guys. I hope I didn't bore you too much here. And one more step. Hopefully we can get this done in a few weeks. Thank you guys.